Ten of Wands. When the Ten of Wands appears, you may feel as though you are carrying a very heavy burden. You may want to look hard at this and see if there are any ways that you might lighten your load either literally or figuratively. If you look carefully, you may find that part of the burden you are carrying emotionally actually belongs to someone else. It will be important for you to pace yourself now. Don't try to do too much. General. Sometimes the Ten of Wands indicates that you have been too successful and would be well served by scaling back. You are probably tired. You've been working very hard, personally and professionally, and could use a break. Give yourself one. Work. Your workload may be unrealistically heavy now. Don't hesitate to ask for help or ask questions. And if your supervisors or a colleague comes to you with a request for something new on top of your already incredibly overflowing plate, ask them which thing you should not do to make room to do the new thing. If you are looking for a position without much success, do not lose heart. Keep trying, and you cannot fail. Love. The appearance of the 10 usually signifies a hard place in a relationship. It can be that your beloved is undergoing a rough time that has nothing to do with your relationship but needs your support. Most often, however, it indicates that there is something in the relationship which needs to be examined, looked at, and considered. You will not gain by pretending that there are no problems. If you're in the market for love, do not despair. Your time will eventually come, but perhaps now is a good time to halt your search and just take some time for rest and reflection. Finances. You are probably feeling overburdened and stressed about money when this card appears in the context of a financial question. You will be best served by looking at your situation calmly and dispassionately, and making a plan. A wise man said, "Expect the best, but plan for the worst." You can do both things now. Avoiding the problems will not make them disappear. Be creative in your problem solving and don't hesitate to ask for help if you need it. Health. Stress may have taken a serious toll on your body, but there are things that you can do to rebuild. First of all, calm down. Secondly, be sure that you are getting adequate rest and sleep. Then consider supplementation if you need it. Stress is particularly bad about depleting the vitamins in your body. Massage and vacation can work wonders now. If fatigue and sleeplessness and physical problems have persisted, get treatment. Even if you have no money and no health insurance, there is help available to you. Find it. Spirituality. Don't be afraid to reach out for assistance if you need it. But you also have to learn when enough is enough, and when it is time to get out from under your burdens. The major theme here is to take good care of yourself, in every way, as to do so is especially critical now. Tarot history. The history of the tarot is shrouded in mystery. Very little in the way of concrete information is known about its origin, although many things have been written about it. We will probably never know the truth, as fact and fiction seem to be irrevocably mixed nowadays. The tarot originated in northern Italy in the early 15th century, sometime between 1420 to 1440. Despite the fact that it is often attributed to originating from China, Egypt, India, or Morocco, to name just a few, there is absolutely no evidence that this is the case. Nor, as is often quoted, is there any evidence whatsoever that the tarot was brought to Europe by the Romanis. The name tarot is often attributed to being Egyptian, Hebrew, or Latin. This is not the case. The earliest names are all Italian in origin. The cards were originally called Carte de Triomphe. Around 1530 the word tarot began to be used to differentiate them from a new game of triumphs that was in vogue at the time. The etymology of this new word is unknown. The German variant was known as tarot and the French tarot. The symbolism for the tarot is drawn from the culture of medieval and Renaissance Europe. The tarot subjects are distinctive to European Christendom. The symbolism does not come from Egypt or any of the other exotic locales often mentioned. It is often stated that modern-day playing cards evolved from the tarot. This is not the case. Modern-day playing cards came to Europe courtesy of Islam. They were an adaptation of the Islamic Mamluk cards. They appeared quite suddenly in many different European cities between 1375 and 1378. These early cards had suits of cups, swords, coins, and polo sticks, and courts consisting of a king and two male underlings. The tarot adds the Fool, the trumps, and a set of queens to this system. Sometime before 1480, the French introduced cards with the now familiar suits of hearts, clubs, spades, and diamonds. The Joker is not original to either the early form of modern-day cards, or to the tarot, but instead originated in the USA around 1857 and was used as a wild card in poker as well as the highest trump in euchre. It is also often stated that the Catholic and Protestant churches outlawed the tarot and all who used it in an effort to stamp out so-called heretical teachings. This is not the case. The Inquisition documented what the Church considered as evidence of heresy in great detail. The tarot was not even mentioned. After the Reformation, less controversial images for the Pope and Papess were substituted by card makers as the Church had objected to the original images. It is often said that the tarot was not used as a divination tool prior to 1781. The tarot was used as early as the 16th century to compose poems describing personality characteristics. There is historical evidence that in one case at least these verses were presented as relating to the person's fate. In other words, divination. Divinatory meanings were assigned to the tarot in Bologna in the early 1700s, and this is the first unambiguous evidence of tarot divination. Ordinary playing cards were connected with divination as early as 1487. It is not unreasonable to think that the tarot was also. The tarot has often been attributed with being a pillar of Western esoterica occultism. This is certainly not the case. The first occult writers to discuss the tarot were Court de Gabellin and the Comte de Melot in 1781. The tarot was not mentioned in any occult work for the first 350 years of its existence. The terms Major Arcana, Minor Arcana, High Priestess, and Hierophant are anachronistic when referring to the older tarot decks. The historically appropriate terms are the trumps and the fool, the suit cards, Papess or Popess, and Pope. Likewise, pentacles and wands are relatively recent substitutions for the traditional suit names of coins and staves or batons. The original Italian titles of the cards were in some cases different from the later French titles that have become familiar to us through the Tarot de Marseille and its descendants. Also, the ordering of the trumps varied considerably in Italy, where the cards originated. It is not known which ordering is the earliest one. Even the number of cards in the deck varied a great deal. So care should be used in making statements about the original meaning of the cards based on the familiar titles and ordering. Many believe that the Waite-Smith Tarot is the original, standard, or most authentic tarot deck in existence. This is absolutely untrue. The Waite-Smith/Rider-Waite deck was created in 1909, not even 100 years ago, making it a relative newcomer in the almost 600-year history of the tarot. There is actually no definitive version of the tarot.